The Flower and Art Fair returned to downtown Lake Orion as visitors enjoyed music and food while shopping for art and plants. Orion Township hosted the inaugural Kicking for a Cause kickball tournament at Friendship Park, with 8 teams competing for a cash prize and a coveted trophy. The Lake Orion community came together to build a brand new playscape at Children's Park with the support of the Downtown Development Authority. And ONTV's Joe Johnson traveled to Novi to celebrate the return of the Motor City Comic-Con at the Suburban Collection Showplace. Hello everyone, I'm Stacy Calloway. I'll have those stories and so much more on this edition of ONTV News. In 2021, the Orion Art Center took over the Flower and Art Fair from the Lake Orion DDA, which gives them another fundraising opportunity before Dragon on the Lake in August. The Flower and Art Fair returned in May, and the response was tremendous. On Saturday, May 21st and Sunday, May 22nd, the Lake Orion Flower and Art Fair returned to downtown Lake Orion. Flint and Broadway streets were closed to traffic as approximately 100 vendors set up shop offering art, plants, home decor, and more. Visitors also enjoyed food and music throughout the weekend. An early morning thunderstorm threatened to put a damper on things, but by Saturday afternoon, visitors enjoyed beautiful spring-like weather.
When the monsoon came, we were all hunkered down, like very unsure of the day, but we went, had a bite to eat, and before we could finish, the sun was out and the crowds were coming. We came back to our booth, we had kids waiting for crafts, we had people ready to pick up kits, and the turnout is great. The community and their support, regardless of the weather, is what keeps us going, so it's wonderful.
Proceeds from the event and a beer tent helped support the Orion Art Center. It was the second year the Art Center organized the Flower and Art Fair, which was previously hosted by the Lake Orion DDA.
Art is very important to us. Actually, with COVID, the flower vendors in the area don't have as much staffing. So part of what drove the art was the fact that we didn't have as much floral as we wanted, but we were happy to secure some and also give local artists additional booth space to sell. Everyone's been inside during COVID, you know, crafting, learning new skills, and trying new hobbies. And I think the craftsmanship in the area has grown, and the volumes of people and varieties we have is just absolutely amazing.
Visitors were also encouraged to stop by the Art Center to enjoy the first art exhibit since 2019. Life in Bloom showcased the work of local artists in a wide variety of media with a floral theme. The submissions were judged and ribbons were awarded at a reception on May 13th. Taking first place honors was Joyce Kilpatrick with her watercolor submission called Fox Friends. The artwork will be on display through June 30th. For more information about upcoming exhibits, classes, and events, visit orionartcenter.org. Miracle Field at Friendship Park literally levels the playing field for those with special needs and allows everyone, regardless of ability, to come together to enjoy sports. Recently, a fundraiser took place to help Orion Township complete the next phase of Miracle Field. On the morning of Sunday, May 22nd, Friendship Park was bustling with activity during Orion Township's inaugural Kicking for a Cause kickball tournament. 8 teams took part in the tournament that acted as a fundraiser for Miracle Field and its nearly completed concession stand. The winning team would take home $10,000 to benefit the charity of their choice.
We raised about $20,000, and half of that's going to go to finish our concession stand. The other half is going to go to the winning team. Actually, the winning team gets $10,000 for whatever charity they choose. Second place team gets $2,500, and then we have a team spirit award for $1,000. So the team that is exhibiting the best team spirit out here won't go home empty-handed. And then the big trophy is like the Stanley Cup. It's better than the Stanley Cup, and that team will get to keep it and all year long, keep that trophy, whatever they want to do with it, but next year it'll be back. So it's going to obviously stay here.
The Orion Township team was joined by teams representing Macomb Township, Bloomfield Township, Oxford, Rochester Hills, SimCog, and Lake Orion Community Schools. Macomb County and St. Clair County formed one unified team. In round 1, Orion Township hosted Oxford. While the game started out as a defensive battle, Orion exploded in the 4th inning, producing 7 runs on its way to claim a 9-2 victory. Former Detroit Lions Lomas Brown was in attendance to comment on the ribbon action.
I'm glad that they're out here. I hope they stretched before they started kicking the ball out. They got all the limbs limber and everything, but it's a great cause. It's for a great charity. So I'm glad that they're out here. And we got a lot of participants, so it's nice to see everybody participating and getting back involved, getting back outside and trying to get back to normal.
Watching what little bit that you saw so far, do you think anyone has a chance of going pro?
Well, if they got a pro league, it might be a couple of prospects out here. You know, I see the pitchers. A couple of pitchers got some strong pitching arms that they pitch it down there. And I see some legs. So I see some Cabrera-like legs out here. So, yeah, there's some talent out here.
The tournament concluded with Bloomfield Township taking on Rochester Hills in the championship game. Bloomfield got on the scoreboard first to take a 1-0 lead in the second inning. But Rochester Hills scored 2 runs in the fourth to go out in front. At the top of the 7th and final inning, Rochester Hills was clinging on to a 3-1 lead when soccer great Allison Vizenko sends one over the heads of the outfielders to drive in 2 runs and extend the lead to 4 runs. Bloomfield Township had one last chance at the bottom of the 7th. But after the final out, it was Rochester Hills claiming the championship with a 5-1 victory. Bloomfield Township received the second place prize of $2,500, and the Simcock team received a check for $1,000 for most spirit. Then Orion Township Supervisor Chris Barnett presented the championship trophy and a check to his brother, $10,000 to Mayor Brian Barnett and the Rochester Hills team, who then made a stunning announcement.
We have an important announcement. First of all, thank you all for coming out tonight. And our captains have an announcement.
So, Orion, we appreciate you having us here today. And what we would like to do is donate this money back to you.
We had a great time. It was awesome. Our team, Rochester Hills, we had 18, 20 people out here playing all day and probably 3 times that number of fans on a Sunday. So we have a great culture in Rochester Hills, and this is going to be pretty fun to bring home and talk about this year.
And then I got to admit, I got a little emotional there at the end when you presented the check back to Miracle Field. Was that the plan all along?
No, that wasn't really the plan all along. But I mean, when you see it, watching the Miracle Leaguers play and watching the fun they had, it was super cool. So we were happy to give it back.
Chris, what's your reaction to them giving you the check back?
First nice thing my brother's ever done in 44 years.
And probably last too.
It's super cool. It was a great day. Everybody had a blast. There was some competitiveness on show out here. We had an ejection.
Yeah. We'll see if Macomb County's invited back. Really.
It was a great day. And no, we really were. This half the money's going for charity, and it was just what a cool, nice, amazing gesture of the Rochester Hills team to help us get our concession stand open. That wasn't our intent, but very cool.
Yeah, no,
and I take all the bad things I've said about my brother back today. Yeah, just from today only.
Named game MVP was Allison Vizenko, who scored a run, drove in 2 runs, and made a crucial catch in the bottom of the 7th to secure the win.
I was actually brought in because my dad works for the city, but he is medically not allowed to play. So they brought me in.
I think they call that a ringer. You knocked some runs in, you made a big catch. What was the day like for you?
It was a great day. Came in and had a lot of fun. Just did what I could.
How do you prepare for this?
All the years of soccer.
I see. Great. And now here you are standing there with the check in your hand and the trophy. What's going through your head?
Honestly, a lot of things right now, but I'm just happy we were able to bring it home.
A ribbon cutting ceremony is planned for June 18th as the Home Plate concession stand celebrates its grand opening. It will be staffed by Miracle League players, and proceeds from concession sales will benefit Miracle Field. In April, we told you about the playground build that took place in Greens Park thanks to a grant from T-Mobile. 1 month later, another playground build took place within walking distance from Greens Park. On Saturday, May 14th, dozens of volunteers arrived at Children's Park in downtown Lake Orion to begin the process of replacing the previous playground structure with a brand new structure funded by the Lake Orion Downtown Development Authority.
The playground equipment has been here for a while. It was starting to, we were not to an unsafe situation yet, but we were getting there. And the Parks and Rec Committee came to the Lake Orion Downtown Development Authority Board and said, we need some help replacing all the equipment in the park. And the decision by the board was to fund this entirely. So it's over $78,000 of a community investment by the Lake Orion Downtown Development Authority to make sure that Children's Park remains a safe, shining star as it's always been in the community.
This means a lot to us. I mean, to see people who are just really excited about this project coming to fruition and willing to give up a Saturday, on a hot Saturday no less, to come out and make this happen is just really, it's really cool to see that and just the community spirit that's here in Lake Orion.
The plan was to have the playground completed by the end of the day, Saturday, but heavy rains put everything on hold and volunteers returned on Sunday to continue the work. Once the mulch is in place, Children's Park can continue to be a gathering place for Lake Orion residents and future generations.
Similar to before, we have our swings with our 3 bays with 6 different swings, including an ADA swing as well. A bigger structure for kids ages 5 to 12, and it's going to feature some things that, like some rope climbing and netting and different things that weren't here before. And then a smaller structure for kids ages 2 to 5, plus those 2 independent play pieces as well.
We have several events in this park. Our Lake Orion Live music series happens here. The Halloween extravaganza happens here. We've had weddings in the gazebo. The Sing and Stroll happens here. I mean, we do a lot of events in this downtown park, so it's essential for us. But we also know that people come to this park because it's in the downtown. They can go get some food and enjoy, and their children can come play here. It's just great for families.
Orion Township Parks and Rec promotes fitness and encourages residents to stay active. One way they do that is by hosting a 5K race on the Pollyant Trail. On the morning of Sunday, May 15th, almost 200 runners and walkers arrived at the Orion Center for the start of the 2022 Dragon Dash 5K. At 9 a.m., participants lined up for the start of the race.
It's a gorgeous day. It's beautiful out here. We've run this run in snow, horizontal rain. We've run it in anything. It's very rare that we get this much of a beautiful day.
Orion Township has been hosting the Dragon Dash for more than 25 years. The course took participants onto the scenic Pollyant Trail, where they headed south towards Civic Center Park. Upon reaching the park, they turned around and headed north, back toward the finish line at the Orion Center, where they received a medal for participating. Crossing the finish line first was Maria Brandon of Lake Orion, who finished with a time of 20:33.6. Finishing in second place was Patrick Moore of Rochester with a time of 21:03.6. Sponsors and volunteers helped make this year's Dragon Dash a huge success.
We have a lot of sponsors. We have some financial sponsors. We have some volunteer sponsors. We have Waste Management, Buffalo Wild Wings, Genesis Credit Union, and we also have the U-Before-Me. That group is out here volunteering. They're helping do check-in. And then I have a couple of families that are out here that are just helping out, lending a hand, and passing out water on the trail.
Next up on the calendar is Orion Township's Community Garage Sale and Antique, Toy, and Comic Expo, scheduled to take place on Saturday, June 4th, beginning at 9 a.m. at the Orion Center. For more information, visit orionparks.com. Judging by the number of grand opening ceremonies here in Lake Orion, it seems as if the area is experiencing a huge business boom. On Thursday, May 12th, representatives of the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce assembled on M24 south of Clarkson Road to welcome Ace Handyman Services with a ribbon-cutting ceremony.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
A friend of mine owned an Ace Hardware up in Port Huron, and he introduced me to the Handyman Services franchise. I started exploring it. It seemed like a really good and up-and-coming thing, and my wife always says, I do a lot of stuff around the house, and thought it'd be a good opportunity to start researching it. And I started looking at the Lake Orion area and really saw a need for it. It seemed like there's a void of not necessarily remodelers and not necessarily like just the small handymen, but like the people who take on those small to medium-sized projects. And I decided to explore it further, and here I am.
Owner Gerard Pazunik of Macomb Township previously worked in law enforcement and as a mortgage broker before joining the Ace Handyman Services franchise. He opened this Lake Orion location on March 1st as one of 9 in Michigan.
It started in Denver, Colorado, as a company called Handyman Matters, and then about 2018, Ace Hardware started looking at them to start expanding, and they eventually bought the company called Handyman Matters and converted it to Ace Handyman Services, and it expanded out to currently up through January 2022, there are 241 franchises in 41 states.
For more information, you can call 248-940-1550 or visit acehandymanservices.com. Just 1 week later, the Chamber was out and about once again, this time on Indian Wood Road near M24. It's not the first time a ribbon-cutting ceremony has been hosted at this location. All Dry is just one of several businesses owned by the Medina family.
3, 2, 1.
The family also owns Broadway Embroidery in downtown Orion, as well as Mosquito Shield and Patch Boys. As a matter of fact, All Dry and Patch Boys can work together to help you recover from flood damage.
We provide water restoration, mold remediation. We do crime scene cleanups. Pretty much if anybody has a flood in their house or basement, or if there's any type of growth, we'll be there to help them out and take care of it. Key thing is making sure you get there first, vacuum all the water up as much as possible. If there's any material like drywall that has soaked up that can't be saved, then we start cutting that out and making sure it's out and the air is open. We bring our dehumidifiers that we have down below here, fans, and we start circulating the air around there to quickly dry everything up so there won't be any growth at all. If there's any type of rugs or carpet area that we need to take up, we try to bring it up a little bit, put the fans in there, get them aired out as much as possible. Our major thing is that we try to do is making sure that we try to save as much as possible for everyone. We try to keep everything in there. If not, then we make sure we communicate that with the client.
The Medina family isn't quite yet done with ribbon-cutting ceremonies. The Chamber will be returning soon to celebrate the grand opening of Iris Environmental Laboratories of Metro Detroit. In the meantime, if you're in need of the services they provide, you can call 248-983-5379 or visit alldryteam.com/Northern Metro Detroit, Michigan. As the Lake Orion Dragons track season begins to wind down, the team recently traveled to Lapeer to compete in the MHSAA Lower Peninsula Regional Meet. ONTV's Joey Tysick has the highlights.
Both the men and women's track seasons have been winding down with some big events. On May 13th, the OAA Championships were hosted by Oxford High School. The Lake Orion women would finish 4th in the meet with some notable wins from Elena Tisch in the 100 meters and 2nd in the 300-meter hurdles. Natalie Keogh 3rd in the 200-meter, Kyra Andrews getting a PR in the 400 and getting 7th place, and the Lake Orion 4x100 relay for winning with Maddie Slocum, Natalie Keogh, Michaela Long, and Elena Tisch, as well as the 4x200 relay winning with Slocum, Ava Keogh, Long, and Tisch. Elizabeth Hoffman and Bella DeLong also helped the Dragons by finishing 4th and 5th in shot put. Hoffman also finished 6th in discus. Bella Monterosso and Carly Niebel also were 1st and 3rd in pole vault. The Dragons really shined in the field events and the relays. For the men, they just continued their fantastic season as they would go on to win the championship. Stephen Brown would finish 2nd in both the 100-meter and 200-meter dash. Luke Pearden would get 3rd in the 800-meter run. In the 1600-meter run, those cross-country boys would show out with Clayton Kuiper 2nd, Will Hoovner 4th, and Hong Bing Tang 5th. Then in the 3200, Kuiper and Bing Tang would take 1st and 2nd, with Hoovner finishing 5th. Joey Theed would take 2nd in the 110 hurdles, and Josh Trudell would be 3rd in the 300-meter hurdles. And then, similar to the girls, the guys would have really strong relays. In the 4x100, Austin Kahn, Theed, Dorian Hill, and Stephen Brown would take 1st, while in the 4x200, Anais Pilot would replace Hill, and Lake Orion would take 1st in that as well. In the 4x400, Lake Orion would place 3rd behind Jacob Corliss, Zachary Patricia, Theed, and Luke Pearden. The 4x800 team would also get 1st with Corliss, Horatio Lopez, Pearden, and Kuiper. For the field events, Lake Orion would take 1st in shot put with Nick Eaton throwing 46 feet. Eaton would then take 3rd in discus. Stephen Butcher and Caleb Jones would place 3rd and 5th in high jump. Ian McCullum and Nolan Rhodes would take second and third in pole vault. And finally, Caleb Jones and Joseph Oseric would get fourth and fifth in high jump. Just an all-around victory for the Dragons. Then on May 20th, the MHSAA Region 9 Division I Championships were hosted by Lapeer High School. This was another incredible showing for both teams as the men and women teams both got second place. On the women's side, Elena Tisch got second place, qualifying for the state meet, and she also got third in the 300-meter hurdles and missed the state qualifier by a tenth of a second. Michaela Long finished fifth in the 200, Ava Keogh finished sixth in the 800, but yet again, Lake Orion won the 4x100 and 4x200 relays, which will send Slocum, Keogh, Long, Tisch, and Cadence Teasley to states. Lake Orion was also able to get fourth in the 4x800 behind Lauren Demia, Ava Keogh, Maddie Fierig, and Kyra Andrews. Bella DeLong and Elizabeth Hoffman once again scored in shot put, getting fourth and fifth, while Hoffman also scored fourth in discus. Carly Niebel and Bella Monterosso got second and third in pole vault, resulting in Niebel qualifying for states. The men's side once again got strong performances for their sprinters and distance runners. Stephen Brown would place second in the 100-meter and first in the 200-meter, sending him to states for both, while also breaking the school's 100-meter record. Clayton Kuiper would qualify for states off his third-place 1,600-meter run, while Will Hoovener would score for the Dragons, placing sixth. Hong Bing Tang would write himself a ticket to states as well with his personal best 3,200-meter run that won the race, while Adam Hafley and Clayton Kuiper would finish fourth and sixth. Joey Theed would qualify for states, finishing second in the 110-meter hurdles. And once again, the Lake Orion relays were dominant, as the 4x100 and 4x200 will both be going to states as well. The place Lake Orion did struggle a bit in the meet was the field events. They had a bit of an off event and came up just short, but had a great season nonetheless. It has been an incredible season of track for both Lake Orion teams, and we can't wait to see what some of these individuals, as well as relays, can do at the big one on June 4th. From Lake Orion High School, I'm Joey Tysick with ONTV Sports.
Thanks, Joey. And finally, the Motor City Comic Con has been celebrating comics and pop culture for 33 years. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted things a bit over the past 2 years, but the event returned to Novi in May as things seem to return to normal. ONTV's Joe Johnson was there for 3 days of fun.
The Motor City Comic Con returned to the Suburban Collections Showplace in Novi for 3 days in May after a 2-year absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Organizers did hold an event in the fall of 2021 with COVID restrictions, but it was the first time the Comic Con was held in May since 2019. Tens of thousands of people attended the event over the course of 3 days, many of them dressed in elaborate and colorful costumes. Dozens of vendors sold comic books, toys, and collectibles, while comic book artists and writers met with their fans. Approximately 40 celebrities, including actors, wrestlers, and voiceover talent, drew huge crowds, with fans patiently waiting in long lines for an autograph or a selfie with their favorite star.
Really exciting. This convention has been around for 33 years, and being back here in May is just really rewarding for a lot of people, a lot of fans that have been coming here year after year after year. We're really looking forward to getting the fans back in here. Now, we are being cautious. We're going to very strongly encourage that people wear face coverings, just because COVID cases, again, in the county are on the rise. But, just being able to gather like-minded people, celebrating pop culture and comics, it's fantastic. We're happy to be back.
One of the highlights of Comic-Con was a reunion of actors that appeared in the Superman movie starring Christopher Reeve, who passed away in 2004. An exclusive variant version of the Superman 78 comic book helped raise funds for the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. The gathering was organized by Detroit TV and radio personality Jay Towers.
It's the Christopher Reeve Legacy Reunion. What this is a reunion of all stars that have been on screen with Christopher Reeve in one of the 4 movies. So everybody from Jack O'Halloran to Sarah Douglas. You have Mariel Hemingway's over there, Mark McClure, Jimmy Olsen, who is also in Back to the Future, as we know, and Justice League. everybody's over there having a blast, and we're helping out the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. So I organized this with Cape Wonder, which is the CapeWonder.com and the Cape Wonder Superman podcast on iHeartRadio. We do a podcast about the Christopher Reeve Superman film. So yeah, I was able to get with all the stars and say, will you come and do this, and let's help the Reeve Foundation. They said yes, and here they are.
Christopher Reeve, I mean, we're here for Chris, you know, and it's so great to honor him. He was the guy. I mean, he really was. I don't think in our lifetime we'll see anybody better, more representative of Superman. I mean, Christopher Reeve was Superman, and it was just so great to hang around him. And he bulked up, you know, during the production, and he was the guy. And it's so great to talk about a film this far into the future, you know, because not many films have the legs to keep standing up, you know, and this one does. And that's really, you know, when you think about it, you know, that's really a good thing to be a part of.
Superman was such a driving force of that kind of, you know, Comic-Con kind of thing, comic book movie. And Christopher Reeve was at the forefront of that and doing his Superman 4 with him, and he was producing, and he had a lot to do with the writing. It was exciting. It was amazing. We were in England. It was like, what? I get to fly? Wait, this is cool.
I look back now and I think about that young man, and I think about what was important to me then, what was the things that I enjoyed doing. When I look and I watch the film, I remember the days, each of the days that we were filming, and thinking what a great privilege I felt every day showing up to the set to be able to slip on that costume, stand across from Christopher, and just get to play for a while. So when I see it, I think the joy in the face of, even though with a stern face, the joy behind that mask.
Organizers have already announced the dates for the next Motor City Comic-Con. Pull out your calendar and mark down October 14, 15, and 16 as the event returns in the fall. In Novi, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
Thanks, Joe. Looks like you had a fun time there. And with that, we'll wrap up this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the hardworking ONTV News team, I'm Stacy Calloway. Thanks for watching.